Hi, I'm Wendy Otway, and I'm having great fun meeting and with some of the people whose unique performances you can see during the 9th Faversham Fringe, Faversham's very own Fringe Festival, which is running from the 3rd until the 26th of October. On Saturday, the 4th of October at 8:30 in the Alexander Centre, there will be a performance of Blood Me Up, Marjorie. And today I'm talking to Steve about his show. Hi, Steve.
Hi, Wendy. Lovely to see you and hear
And
you.
you. So, Steve, what inspired you and Ali, your collaborator, to write this play, and how does it differ from previous work?
Yeah, well, it's a great idea actually. Ali and I both work for about four murder mystery companies, mostly around the southeast. And about a year ago, Ali said to me, "Look, do you know we should write a play about all the funny things that go on behind the scenes of a murder mystery, like in the dressing room, and things that the guests don't always realise is happening." And she said, "Oh, we should do one and take it to the Edinburgh Fringe." And originally it was going to be this year, but we didn't get it done in time. So we sat down and we thought of all the funny stories that we've had over the years of murder mystery, whether it's to do with characters, costume, food, just things going wrong. And we just couldn't stop laughing. So we devised this piece, we sat down and improvised it. And over the last 6 or 7 months, as well as doing normal murder mysteries, this play has come together. And yeah, delighted to be bringing it to the Faversham Fringe on Saturday the 4th.
Sounds fun. So, in a few words, and without giving away spoilers and the obvious, because there's obviously something to do with murder in this, what is Blood Me Up, Marjorie all about?
Yeah, well, blooding up is one of those sort of techniques in the murder mystery world where when someone gets killed, they're in the dressing room and you blood them up with this fake blood, which is where that name that name comes from.
Ah,
And and yeah, I mean, we don't give much away. It literally, as I said before, really, it's literally about 9 scenes within this sort of 55 to an hour sort of show, about 55 minutes of different murder scenarios. For example, there's one like murder at the posh house. You always get the manor house murder. There's murder in the school canteen, or I think there's murder up the chimney from Victorian times. There's even one at Roman times. These very short little scenes with little things that have gone wrong between the actors that know what's going on. And it's hilarious. And there's two actors, me and Ali. We wrote it together, we directed it together. We play six characters between us. It's very pacey. It's very cleverly written, really, to ensure that there's always something going on. So without giving too much away, if you want to just come and laugh out loud for an hour and you'll relate to it, especially if you've been to a murder mystery, I think you'll have a great time.
so it's anecdotal bloopers put together for a play.
It's a bit like if anyone's seen Noises Off in the West End, where it's based around in the wings of the theatre or the drama club where people like behind the scenes before they go out on stage. And so it's a lot of it is set in the rehearsal room, and then the event room is sort of just behind the stage. If not, I mean, you never see it, but people are going in and out to the event room and coming back to the rehearsal room to talk about what's just gone wrong or why this didn't happen. And then some of it is set in the event room on the stage as well. But it's a very basic set. So yeah, I mean, if you think about actors with the wrong costume, bad casting, an old lady playing a child, or like young lady, or the people not happy with their food because you get to eat at these murder mysteries, and whenever food's involved in stage, as anyone, I'm sure you act, don't you, Wendy? I'm sure you can relate to that. Whenever there's food involved, it doesn't always run smoothly. So it's literally about keeping dead bodies dead and making sure it's believable, and people sticking to the plot of the murder mystery, forgetting what era they're in. Are they in Roman times, or are they in 1983 Los Angeles in the ghetto? So it's quite it's quite hilarious. I mean, I'm laughing and now thinking about it because Ali and I have written this over the last year, Ali Cranston, and we still laugh when we just rehearse it. Yeah, we've had a great time, and it'd be great for people to come and see it as well.
Yes, as you started, I was immediately thinking of Noises Off, so I'm glad I'm on the right road for that. So, I mean, as you've already said in our earlier conversation, Faversham is full of arts and theatre and drama and music. So, do you think the theatrical world of Faversham will really connect with with your play?
I think so. We've done it at the Brighton Fringe, we did it in Tunbridge Wells Fringe. We had a lot of actors and creatives who came along because you're absolutely right. It doesn't just relate to acting in murder mysteries. I think if you do any acting, you can relate to how you have to think on your feet. You have to, you know, cope in serious situations to make it work, so that the guests or audience, whatever you want to call them, don't really notice what's gone wrong, and being able to ad lib and improvise and to ensure everything runs smoothly. And that's one of the reasons anyone who does acting, especially locally, they love that adrenaline rush. So yeah, I expect there'll be a lot of people coming along who can relate to that, who maybe act at the Arden or do stuff at the Alexander themselves, or do stuff elsewhere. I'm sure they'll find that great. Yeah, and read the murder mysteries locally. One of the companies Ali and I work for, which is called Murder 57, we do a lot of murder mysteries at the Judd's Folly Hotel, just up the, you know, in the Faversham, or just outside. So yeah, I mean, and I mean, I don't live in Faversham, but I understand it's got, you know, it's got a good I'm sure it's got a few ghosts and murder stories of its own in the town, hasn't it? They don't come into our play, but I reckon there's a lot to say.
Well, yes, and of course, the Arden and the Arden murder in the
Yeah,
16th
the Art of
century is one of the most famous ones. So,
There you
granted,
go.
I'm not going to ask you whether your audience is going to laugh or cry, because I think it's going to laugh.
Well, they'd laugh.
It sounds great fun, regardless of whether you're theatrical or whether you've always wondered the chaos backstage.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you will laugh. You will laugh out loud. I mean, it's one of those laugh out loud things. I mean, personally, you know, I'm not normally a loud out loud person, but I know it's be one of those shows if I was watching, just because of the absurdity of it and some of the costumes and some of the bizarre situations that Ali and I are in. You can sort of just imagine that is such a bizarre. But what is important here is that every silly thing that you see in this play, Blood Me Up, Marjorie, has actually happened. I mean, we've obviously, you know, hyping it up a little bit for dramatic effect and comedic effect, but every theme and everything that goes on, which is the central to each of these different scenes, has actually occurred. And you might think that's, I cannot believe that actually happened. They have all happened, which makes it more real. And the absurdity of it, farcical in a way, I suppose you could say, but it's a very clever play. And yeah, pacey, funny and clever is a good way to describe it.
So, because this is all based on your own personal experiences,
Mm.
out of all the things you're going to be showing, which is the most memorable, nerve-wracking moment that you're reflecting in your play?
In this play, it's it's probably some of the casting, which always gets sort of changed at the last minute. You know, someone turns up, they spend all week prepping to be, you know, the Lord of the Manor or something, and then 5 minutes or an hour before the show, you normally get an email from someone saying someone's gone sick, and you have like 30 minutes to change to change characters. But in real life on this, in Brighton Fringe, poor old Ali had a moment when she swallowed one of the props which she was wearing. I won't say what it was, but so she was sort of like coughing and whatever, and we're both, as anyone's done, like when there's only two of us on stage, you're quite telepathic in a way, really. You're sort of looking at each other thinking, okay, is this gonna, what do we do we just keep going? And she's such a trooper, she kept going with this coughing and spluttering. Luckily there's a bit of water on stage. Again, I won't tell you what she swallowed, it'd ruin it. But yeah, and at the end she was so good that, but we were getting through. It's quite nerve-wracking. You are on your thinking on your feet, and in the end some of the audience thought that was part of the show. They said, oh, I love that bit where that happened, and we said, well, that wasn't actually normally in the script, but but she wasn't keen to make it a regular thing, shall we say.
No, I think that might be a little uncomfortable. So, uh, let's get serious. What's the one thing you and Ali hope your fringe audience in Faversham will take away from the play?
Well, a couple of things really. I think it'd be great to say, look, come along to a murder mystery event if you haven't already, because they're always great nights out. And that would be good. So if you've never tried a murder mystery before, and also if you do go, I suppose to think about when you are in that moment, is it running as smoothly as you think it is, and just to leave with a smile on their faces, really. I mean, these are difficult times, aren't they, for everybody? I mean, the Faversham Fringe is amazing, you know, Ribs is amazing for organizing it, and I think if you can just go in and laugh for 50 minutes, 55 minutes, and forget all your woes and come out and just say, well, that was, yeah, that was good, that was good fun, not too serious. Just, you know, there's a lot of serious plays on, which is great, but I think sometimes it's nice just to go in there and just let yourself just enjoy an hour of fast-paced comedy. And yeah, and that's it. And please, if you do come along, we'd love you to come along. Please come and say hi to me and Ali afterwards. It'd be lovely to see you.
That's great, Steve. So, you've heard it here. If you want to go to a show, laugh out loud, consider the silliness that goes on backstage the next time you go to a play, then book your tickets for Saturday the 4th of October at 8:30 in the Alexander Centre. online at favershamfringe.co.uk/what's-on, and ensure you and your friends don't miss Blood Me Up Marjorie. Thanks, Steve, for talking to Radio Faversham and the people of Faversham today, and good luck.
Thanks, Wendy. Thank you, Wendy.